Nephi, chapter 16, Ishmael dies, and his daughters are really sad and they're upset. So, starting in verse 34, it says, "And it came to pass that Ishmael died and was buried in the place which was called Naom. And it came to pass that the daughters of Ishmael did mourn exceedingly because of the loss of their father, and because of their afflictions in the wilderness. And they did murmur against my father, because he had brought them out of the land of Jerusalem, saying, Our father is dead. Yea, and we have wandered much in the wilderness, and we have suffered much affliction, hunger, thirst, and fatigue. And after all these sufferings we must perish in the wilderness with hunger." So they're mad, and they're saying that they've had a hard life, and that their father is dead, and anyways, in verse 36 it says, "And thus they did murmur against my father, and also against me, and they were desirous to return again to Jerusalem." So, first of all, I want to point out that the daughters of Ishmael had a point. Their father was dead. They had suffered a lot. And Lehi and Nephi were in no small part the people that caused that suffering. And for Laman and Lemuel to support the daughters of Ishmael meant, okay, well, we're going to get back at your oppressors, is how they are essentially defining this as an abusive, oppressive situation. And so Laman and Lemuel say, anyways, in verse 37, "And Laman said unto Lemuel, and also unto the sons of Ishmael, Behold, let us slay our father, and also our brother Nephi, who has taken upon him to be our ruler and our teacher, who are his elder brethren." So they're going to, they're plotting to kill him. Now, I don't know if the daughters of Ishmael wanted that support. Perhaps they just wanted a listening ear. Maybe they wanted to kill Lehi and Nephi. I don't know if they would feel that that's better. But my sense here is that Laman and Lemuel are turning to violence as a way to support their wives, who are the daughters of Ishmael, or their sisters in the case of the sons of Ishmael. And it makes me think, what is appropriate when you're trying to support someone? I don't think in this case it is appropriate to plot to kill people. And I think that sometimes following God means that we suffer, and it takes a different perspective. And sometimes supporting someone in the best way doesn't mean taking on their perspective of the situation, because sometimes their perspective is not a healthy perspective. Sometimes their perspective is not a faithful perspective. If they would have returned to Jerusalem, they would have died, or been taken into captivity by the Babylonians. Lehi and Nephi were working off of divine knowledge, and were saving them, and were making it so that they could live, even though they had to suffer. But it required faith for those people to believe that. And they didn't know that for certain. But Lehi and Nephi were confident in that. So is supporting the daughters meaning you put them through the afflictions in order for them to eventually reach the promised land? Or is it that you empathize with their emotions and their thoughts, and you take on their perspective, and you go and you plot to kill more people and react out of anger and essentially show that you're serious about their issue by punishing those who seem to be the cause of it? I don't know. Do you do what's best in the long run, or do you do what the people feel like in the moment? I think that for here in this story in the Book of Mormon, the right answer is obviously you follow God. I think most of the time in our life it is to follow God. I think that there is a strong tendency to want, though, to follow what Laman and Lemuel are doing here, to retaliate and to empathize and to say, yeah, I'm going to take your issue on as my own and react in the way that I would react rather than the way that you potentially would react. I don't think the daughters of Ishmael would have plotted to kill Lehi and Nephi. That doesn't tend to be their go-to response in the scriptures. But it is the go-to response for Laman and Lemuel. And I think that what seems like empathy is also a way for Laman and Lemuel to try to enact what they've wanted to do for a while.